Hello all and welcome to my channel, where science, technology, engineering, and math are made easy. Today I'm going to be doing a C tutorial, and I'm going to show you how to use factorials in the C programming language. Without further ado, let us begin. First of all, what is a factorial? Well, it shows you right here. I'm using 5 as an example. The factorial for 5 would be 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 equals 120. Now I'm going to use another example. The factorial of 10. It would be 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Now I don't know what the answer for that is on the top of my head, but that's the general idea. This is the factorial that we're going to find in the code. So first of all, I'm going to do my basic code setup, which is basically this. Include studio.h, integer main, and these two curly brackets. Now the very first thing I actually do in the code is introduce the variables. So integer, factor, comma counter, comma limit. Now I'm going to initialize the limit, which means I'm going to give limit a value, and I'm going to assign it the value of 1. Now I'm going to initialize. I'm just going to copy and paste this here. Copy, paste the factor. Now with factor, I'm going to do it a bit differently. I'm going to have a user input rather than give it a set value. So I'm going to say print function, enter the factor, and this is where, and I'm going to have my, so, so this will print a message, and this down here will actually allow you to put user input in. Now I'm going to put in my if statement. Here's how if statements works. The code will say if, and then it'll have a condition in parentheses. And if that condition is met, then the result is printed. If that condition is not met, then that result is not printed. So I'm going to say if factor is less than 0, print function, negative integers are invalid. So what does that mean? I have to correct this spelling mistake first. There are no factorials for any negative number. Not -1, not -10, not negative infinity. There's a factorial for everything except negative numbers, and integers are numbers. So this if statement is basically saying that if the factor is less than 0, which is negative, then to print this message, negative integers are invalid. So now I'm going to use the else statement. The else statement is used whenever the if statement is not true. So suppose I put 1 or 10 or positive infinity for the factor, then this if statement condition is not met. So to use the else statement. The else statement always comes after the if statement and is only used whenever the if statement condition is not met. So let's see that. Else for, this creates a loop. To have this, we need a loop, so I'm going to use a for loop. For counter equals 1, I have to initialize the counter value. Counter is less than or equal to factor. I have a spelling error. And finally, counter plus. So what this basically means is that we initialize the counter, and whenever the counter is less than or equal to a factor, we add it by 1. So I'm going to say limit equals limit times counter. And now I'm going to do print function, the factorial of this number is this number. Now down here I put the factor first and then the limit, because if I put the limit first then the factor, the result would say integer limit of integer factor. We want to say integer factor of integer limit, if you're following me. So then we have return, and then we have 0. So we always use the return function in loops. So let's check it out. So enter the factor. So earlier down here, when I was talking about putting the factor first, if we reversed it, would say the factorial of 120 is 5 or something like that. It would reverse it. So what's basically going on here, the code is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 equals 120. Let's find the factorial of 10, the example I used earlier, just because. 10. The factorial of 10 is that number, and what it basically is saying is, well, this. 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 equals 3628800, which is 3,628,800. And folks, that's all I really have for today. Please like and subscribe, and please be brutally honest with me. I'm still new to YouTube. Tell me how I can make my videos better, what I can do. If there's any video editing software, you could recommend that. Oh, and one more thing. I have this new website. The domain name isn't up, but the link is in the description. It's called Python Imperium. I have some of my old videos on it. I plan sometime soon to add my other videos to it and some other content. Please be brutally honest and tell me what you think of that, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.